Can you talk about remarrying after your spouse has passed away? To be more clear, is it okay for a widower to remarry? Well, the short answer is yes, but let's go to the scripture. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 is Paul's advice for marriage, remarriage, and all that stuff. And it does include a section for widows, which would also apply to widowers. Verses 8 and 9 says, "To the unmarried and the widows I say that it is good for them to remain single as I am, but if they cannot exercise self-control, they should marry, for it is better to marry than to burn with passion." Now, keep in mind, he's saying it is good to do this. He's not saying you're required by the Lord. In fact, he specifically says, "I, not the Lord," in another part of the passage. This is his advice for how people should deal with these things based off of what he knows that the Lord has taught him. But if we go down to verse 39 and 40, he has more to say. "A wife is bound to her husband as long as he lives, but if her husband dies, she is free to be married to whom she wishes, only in the Lord." That goes right along with the don't be unequally yoked part. Only in the Lord means you got to marry somebody who is with the Lord. Somebody's saved. "Yet in my judgment," there it is, that's his advice again, "she is happier if she remains as she is. And I think that I too have the Spirit of God." He's saying there are benefits to remaining single, and he actually explains that elsewhere in the passage. So that last part where he says, "and I think that I too have the Spirit of God," he's saying that he feels like the Spirit agrees that she would be happier if she was single because then she's unencumbered, she's not focused on family or husband or things like that. But you're certainly not required to stay single. No. Not unless God specifically tells you, like he did Jeremiah.